Well, this season, normally when you say what episode am I most excited about, I don't have an answer because all 16 episodes are fun and exciting for different reasons. But this year, I do have an answer, and that would be the finale. It's a real challenge for me to and there's a lot of attention going to be focused on the show, and I want to get that right. So I would say getting the finale right would be something I'd be really proud of. Well, one episode that I think they'll like was directed by my kid brother, actually. It's called Mr. Monk and the Dog, where Monk takes a dog, Monk brings a dog home and adopts a dog briefly, and bonds with this little animal. And it's the cutest little dog you've ever seen. It was written by Beth Armageda, a very funny script, and I think fans will love that. That's been something people have been asking about for years. Why doesn't he get a dog? Wouldn't a dog help him? So in that episode, you'll see that it's a gift and a curse. It helps, but it's also trouble. We do have an episode where Monk learns that his HMO has changed its policy, and they've put a cap on how many therapy sessions he can actually go to, and he learns that he has one therapy session left. And so he goes to Dr. Bell, and it's his last session, and he's frantic to solve all of his big problems in one 45-minute session. And of course he doesn't. God bless him. I've often said this from the beginning. It would be, as the head writer of the series, probably the biggest mistake I could make to have Monk solve his phobias. And I think even in the last season that's true. I think he'll make incremental progress, and I think he has been making incremental progress. But Monk will always be Monk. This is the last season of Monk. All things must end, said a man wiser than me. I think I'm speaking for everyone when I say we have mixed feelings. It's sad to see it end. Friends of mine tell me that it's going to be like a divorce. I'm going to get very depressed. So I'm kind of bracing myself for that. On the other hand, it's been a blessing for everyone, including myself, and I certainly appreciate what it's brought to my life. It was very emotional. As we sit here today, I have not written the last 2 episodes, the big finale. I know the writers and I have worked out what that story will be, but I have not put it on paper yet, and I imagine that will be a little difficult. We're sitting in the writer's office, and I don't know if you can see, but there are bulletin boards on all the walls with ideas that we've been throwing up there for 8 years. And in the last season, we did go through all those bulletin boards again one last time to see if there's any great ideas that we're forgetting. Just like you go through your hotel room one last time before you check out to see if there's anything in the drawers or in the bathroom that you're forgetting. So we tried to make sure all the great ideas were shoehorned into these episodes. As a child, I was a fan of Encyclopedia Brown, Young Detective. I know Hy Conrad, who's the executive producer on the Little Monk series, is also a fan of Young Detectives because he has written his own series of young detectives, and I have been toying with the idea of Little Monk since the beginning of Monk. In fact, we've done episodes. Fans will know we've done episodes where we see Monk as a young man occasionally. I've been trying to get them interested in Little Monk for years, and this season, the 8th season, they called and said, "Hey, let's do it." So it was a long time coming, and I'm glad it's finally here. Part of the idea, part of the fun of Little Monk is that Monk we learn was still Monk even as a 9 and 10-year-old, and had many of the same traits and phobias and fears and compulsions. A lot of that I think is hardwired. Anybody would agree. You're born with a lot of that, so that's the fun of Little Monk, of seeing those traits being expressed by by a 9 and 10-year-old boy. Well, the way I wrote it, and I think High Conrad would agree. High Conrad wrote most of the episodes. Young Monk is not quite. Young Monk still has a little optimism and a little sunshine in him. It all hasn't been beaten out of him yet. There's still a little hope in the kid, and Ambrose, I think, it reflects that as well. Ambrose is sort of hopeful and has a girl that he hopes to, talk to, and he has a crush on. So the world hasn't beaten them down quite yet, and it's fun to see Monk in that situation. Even as a kid, Monk has this phenomenal, extraordinary ability to concentrate and focus. And as older Monk would say, it's a gift and a curse. That same ability to focus and become obsessed with details screws up most of his life. But when it comes to detecting and looking at a crime scene, it makes him a super detective. So even as a kid, he seemed to have that trait, and it's just so much fun to see the kids acting that out. As we're speaking, we're about 2 weeks from Biddy Schram shooting her episode, but the writers have plotted out that episode. Tom Sharpling has written his draft of that episode. We just haven't shot it yet. Well, there's an episode called Mr. Monk and the Foreign Man where Monk will befriend a man who recently lost his wife, and Monk will reflect upon, Monk will reflect on his own situation with Trudy in that episode. But of course, the finale is where the Trudy story really, comes front and center again, as it did in the pilot, and that's where we really address all of those questions. Well, everyone's asking whether there'll be resolution for the supporting characters as well as Monk, and I don't want to be too cryptic or sly here, but my answer is yes. There will be resolution, and I don't want to say any more. I really don't want to spoil any surprises. We don't, we're not a show that has thrown a lot of surprises at our viewers, but this season we hope to. So I don't want to spoil any of them. We always have exciting guest stars, and I'm going to just check my cheat sheet. Our first episode out of the box this year co-starred Elizabeth Perkins, and she did great. Daniel Stern did a great job. He played a small-town sheriff in an episode called Mr. Monk and the UFO. We have Jay Marr did a very funny guy. Jay Marr did a more serious turn as a lawyer in Mr. Monk Takes a Stand. So every week we try to have some surprises. Well, this season, each season is 16 episodes, and 10 or 11 of these episodes are very traditional episodes, ones that we think could have aired at any other season. But there are 5 or 6 that we're calling milestone episodes that deal with Captain Stottlemeyer's career, Natalie's personal life, Disher's career. As you know, Biddy Schram is coming back, Sharona's coming back, and then we have the grand finale. So there are 5 or 6 episodes that deal with the big issues and the character arcs. Well, I can tell you that we're going to address Monk getting his badge back, Monk getting reinstated or not, which has been something from the very first episode, from the pilot, has been something that Monk has been obsessed about and desired. We're going to address Natalie's personal life. Stottlemeyer has had Captain Stottlemeyer, as longtime fans know, has had very bad luck with women, and we hope we can give him one more chance at love, and then of course our grand finale will tie up as many loose ends as I think we can. Oh yeah, every week there'll be new characters. Of course, it being the last season, there's not a lot of potential to bring them back, but we'll be meeting new characters every episode, and we'll be visited by some old friends as well.